Lululemon didn't change activewear, it changed the apparel business. And I want to show you exactly what they are doing so you can steal their strategies to grow your clothing store. As always, make sure you grab something to take notes with and stick around until the end where I'll be sharing with you how you can beat Lululemon at their own game as far as advertising. All right, so starting with number 4, the business model and growth. What's interesting about Lululemon is that they have continued to grow over the years, as you may have guessed, but they've done so with a lot of profit. In a lot of other videos, right, a lot of our other videos growing clothing stores, we talk about the importance of driving traffic through advertising and having a high converting website. But without a sustainable business model, it'll be very difficult to continue to grow on a razor thin margins. So let's go ahead and look at their business model and what they really are doing to make their money. All right, so what we're looking at right here is Lululemon did not change activewear, it changed the apparel game. So I think that's a very interesting article, and we will jump into that here in a second. So what you can see here is Lulu's revenue has increased 6-fold since 2010. So right, they had it pretty early. They started in like 98, but really all the way to like, they didn't really make too much money until 2010. They started to almost hit their first billion, which I know is a lot of freaking money. But let's look at this as like just catapults, right? This is going up to 2021. We're in 2022 right now. They have a different fiscal year than our like calendar year, so it's a little bit different on, they already have reports from what they've been doing. But anyway, a lot of revenue growth has happened in the last 10 years. Now, why did that happen? We're gonna jump into it here in a second, but it's just very interesting to kind of see these numbers right here. Okay, so let's look here, understanding Lululemon's business model. I think this is a very interesting piece here, right? So what people don't understand, right, is that they have an e-commerce brand, but they also have a lot of other areas that are giving them revenue as well. So how does Lululemon make money? Where do Lululemon products come from? All right, so Lululemon sells its products through a network of stores, its own and operates as well, and it sells directly through customers online. So as a direct consumer brand, right, you sell online through e-commerce, etc. But then they put their products in their own stores and then select few other stores as well where you can go and purchase the products. The vast majority of their sales, though, are actually coming from the brick and mortar. Their online game, right, is just now taking off. That's where the profit's coming. That's what we're going to talk about here in a second. Lulu believes that its stores help the company connect with customers and solicit feedback on products, which also is reinforcing its brand. However, customers can purchase products on the website. So what they're doing is like, you can come in, try on the products, see if you like the quality, interact with the customers, or interact with the employees rather, and then go online to purchase. And after your first purchase, maybe you'll continue to do so over and over again, or vice versa, right? Customers like the ability to do both, right? In 2020, we saw a lot of people shopped online, and so they purchased things that they may not have done before, so it forced a lot of people online to make those purchases and changed habits. But people also like to be able to go to stores to touch, feel, smell, etc. And what Lululemon did really well was combine the two of those, right? So their online space growing a little bit, the brick and mortar space taking over the mass majority of their sales, but now we have the online space that's really taking off as well. Okay, so the main thing that I thought was very interesting here as I was breaking this down is Lululemon doesn't own or operate manufacturing facilities. The company relies on limited number of suppliers' fabrics to produce its merchandise. It uses 40 vendors to manufacture products. So basically, right, what it's saying is that like they have exclusive rights to certain vendors, right, and they grab different materials from each of these vendors and then put something together to manufacture. And while I was doing some more research, I really found out that the main driver for Lululemon is that they pay their designers a lot of money, and they're continuously trying to be on the cutting edge of design only, right? The materials are important, but design is their main focus, right? So what does it look like? What does it feel like? What materials are used, etc. That is what is helping their business model really stand out and continue to innovate, especially as you get competitors like Nike and Adidas and Under Armour and everybody else jumping into the athleisure space. Okay, so this last piece here says Lululemon's business model has allowed the company to carve a niche for itself in a crowded market. Despite the quarterly earnings, the company does not pay dividend to shareholders and retains its earnings to fund growth overseas. However, investors should be mindful of the risks the company faces from strong competition, fickle consumers, and potential supplier issues. So they have a lot of things that could go wrong with them, whatever else, right? But the main point from all of this is that they have a very profitable business model. So as things change, or as they mention on here, right, customers become more fickle, they can come up with alternatives. And we'll show you a little bit later on the advertising side what makes that very interesting for what they're doing on a different marketplace outside of just selling in their stores and through their main website. All right, and then last piece here, I think this is also interesting. I'll link this up there as well, or you can comment below and I'll link this video. But okay, so breakdown of Lululemon's total expenses, right? So it has $2.8 billion in expenses with costs of $1.5 billion, $1.1 billion in over operating expenses. All right, so their prices increased, etc. The main thing we're looking at here, though. Okay, so the only thing I wanted to show about this model is that it's pulling stuff out from like 2018, 2019, right? So higher operating expenses, etc., right? And this is a publicly traded company, so it's more of like what's the perception of the community or people outside of the company's perception of the value. But anyway, so their expenses went up, total operating costs went up, etc. But let's just go back to this little chart right here, right? 2018, right, they're at 3.2 billion. And just a few years, right, they're now at 6.3 billion. It's very interesting to see how much of growth, right? We're talking literally, I mean, at this point, 2010, where they were talking about it, less than $1 billion. 2018, they got to 3, and then they almost doubled in a couple of years. So it's literally very interesting to see what exactly are the expenses that are going up, what's happening here, and once the stores are paying for themselves, right, and online continues to grow, then more profit is made. So we'll dive into, again, the advertising, the more of the model that, or the strategies that they're implementing to add more profit to their business. But one thing to note here is that the company started in 1998, right? And it took them until 2010 to really get even close to $1 billion, didn't even hit $1 billion that year. And then 2018, right, they made a little bit of money. And then the 3 years after that, right, it's compounding, right? So they figured out different parts of their business model to continue to grow over time. And that's what we're gonna break down a little bit later here is the strategies that helps them get there. All right, before we cover what really makes Lulu stand out, I just wanted to say howdy. My name is Aaron. I'm one of the co-founders here at Branding, and we're an e-commerce growth agency that specializes in helping clothing stores grow and scale profitably online. Now, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss out on any of the latest strategies we put out for clothing stores. We drop new content for you every single week. All right, so number 3 is the content strategy. Every great apparel brand is focused on becoming a media company first, well before they think about selling the product. The biggest brands know that content is king and engagement is queen, and you need the both of them. If you are not creating content, I won't say it is impossible, right? But highly improbable that you will see nearly as much success as somebody else, right? If you're comparing apparel brand A and apparel brand B, and apparel brand A creates content and apparel brand B does not, right? This one has a much higher chance of success than this one over here, right? That's just apples to apples here. So let's look at content creation and let's break down including their organic marketing approach and their emails. I signed up for their emails because I believe that's a really good strategy for them to take in, right? So we're talking about organic content, or organic content to something more intimate, and let's look at this approach as well. But before we jump into some content examples, I wanted to tell you guys about our free masterclass training for clothing stores that will walk you through the 5 pillars that must be in place for your online store to scale consistently and profitably no matter what is going on in the world. And if you want access to that free training, make sure you check out the link in the description down below. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna check out is over here on their Facebook page, 2.7 million followers here. They have a pinned post from Canada. One thing that I thought was very interesting is that if we go over here to their page transparency, they used to have, right, 360 some odd pages that were all over the world for Lululemon. They're like, that's a lot to take care of. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna simplify things. So what did they do? They created one Facebook page and just put it all together and merged them. This takes a lot of work. But I think it was a better move for them. They just did this, right? So May of 2021, they put into place to make this happen. What's good about this though is that all of their followers go to one place, everybody gets a full cohesive brand experience, and it's just an overall easier way for their social media team to manage things. Because right now you got a management team that would handle 360 some odd pages versus just now one. Okay, so let's look at their content. This was September 23rd. This looks like a featured post or pinned post. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm over here on the page, and what's interesting is, right, I was looking at this, doing some research prior to this, and I was like, oh, these are, this is a pinned post from April of 2021, and then I saw some stuff that was like October, but I didn't look at the year. So October of 2021, not 2022. So then I scroll down, I'm like, okay, well, they've got to have something, right? But these are all a year old. Right, and then I'm trying to like figure out, okay, what's going on with this page? Are they just not doing anything? And the answer is they're not. Right? There's not much movement. There's not much activity. Their organic presence on Facebook is nil to none. So that maybe I'm like, okay, where else are they posting content? Right? Everything else on here is like 2 years ago. Right? So maybe they decided their internal team said, we're not going to waste time on Facebook. We're going to put it all into one spot, which makes sense. May of 2021, they put everything in one spot. And then they said, this is just going to be a banner for our page to be legitimate. I don't know. So we'll make some some ideas, or come up with some ideas of what's actually happening here in a second. But let's go ahead and look at their Instagram. A little bit more active here, right? So this is 17 hours ago. As you can see here, right, so clothing brand, right, probably a good tag here. This is interesting because this is a very searchable tag. This is your nameplate and how people can search for you, so make sure that it's actually accurate here and it doesn't say your name. It actually says your clothing store, or like online clothing store, boutique, clothing brand. Mindfulness, sweat, community, and more. We are here to inspire you to live the sweat life every day. So what do they have here? First post, Houston, you were the life of the running party. Here's the successful Lululemon 10K tour. Coming soon, next year's tour dates. Cool. So there we go. Lifestyle. Everything is like very focused on activity, right? And the other thing that you'll notice here is that this post, reel, reel. So they're taking advantage of reels at this point. Let's see what kind of content they're using for this. Let's see here.
Health. I'll go first. My mental health is extremely important to me.
Okay, so playing on to right, what's going on right now in culture. So Olympian right here, journals to capture gratitude for every day. What do you do for your mental health well-being? Cool. All right, my mental health is extremely important to me in my life. Awesome. So she's focused on an Olympic. They're focused on an Olympic athlete, right? So saying that this is somebody embodies the brand, showcasing that she's a real person by going and focusing on her mental health. She journals for that. Here's a random person, right? What is that? Okay. I don't know what he's saying, but luckily the captions do. Show me what you do to take care of your mental health. Okay, so they're focused on mental health. This may be like a mental health month thing that that was going on here. Don't know. Everything is active and lifestyle, wear the clothing, living life. I think what most brands do and mess up, opportunity to improve on, is that they just show the product and the product only versus the lifestyle of it. For example, this girl out here wearing Lululemon, she's out like walking on the beach somewhere in probably California, etc. This guy over here wearing Lululemon, working out, he's got prosthetic legs. This guy over here hiking. This girl working out at the house. What's interesting is they started their own like subscription model to work out at the house, wearing Lululemon, getting active. This guy's playing tennis. This person's doing yoga. I don't know what they're doing, just kind of living a lifestyle. This person is working out in the gym. So they're showcasing the lifestyle, all different types of people, and showcasing what is different about them or what's more relatable about them, just wearing the clothes. And so that's, if you take away anything from their organic content here, is that they're just being real, showing lifestyle photos so people can see themselves in those clothes, right? If you, for me, I resonate with this person here. They're wearing the Lululemon running shoes. Who knows if they're actually good? But the point is, like, okay, well, I run, so this is something that I can gravitate towards myself. All right, let's look at their TikTok. This is interesting, how it started versus how it's going. This looks like the connection between Houston Instagram reel and then TikTok creating a reel as well. So going across that, there looks like they're also jumping on trends, right? So making sure the text is on the top of the screen. Make sure you're doing that for TikToks. This one went almost viral, which is interesting. I watched this the other day. Like, check this out.
Is it cake? Or is the everywhere belt bag really back in stock?
Pretty cool, but who knows? Is the belt bag back in stock, or is it actually cake? It was cake. Maybe it's still not in stock. But anyway, what's also good here is that you got Lulu commenting back on every single person who posted right here, which is really, really good. If you're not doing that, that's a very big advantage that you can have over other people that just don't say anything. They don't like a comment, they don't respond. So good organic stuff right here. Let's see this video though. Houston 10K Tour Edition. Probably can't play this music, so mute that. All right, so Lululemon 10K, this was a recap, so it's funny, like you follow them on Instagram, they did a different type of video. You follow them on TikTok, they do a different type of video, kind of mesh the two of them together. So synchronizing across the platforms, except for Facebook. My guess is that they were like, hey, look, Instagram is getting us more engagement, TikTok's getting us more engagement. Let's put our efforts here. We have a limited amount of team and we don't want to burn them out, so we're just not touching Facebook. I don't know. No clue. Okay, last thing over here is on the email. I thought this was really well done. So it says your first Lululemon email, welcome. Just nice, right? Thanks for signing up. Enjoy this free shipping and returns. Shop women and shop men right here. So very inviting, very nice, right? It says you're here and we're excited. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for signing up to receive our emails. Now you'll be the first to know about product drops, exclusive collaborations, and what feels right again. And when the time feels right again, our famous events. Shop men's, shop women's, right? Showcasing some products. They know right here, I should shop the women or shop the men. We've got you. Experience the membership. Just super clean. Really focused on the quality here. And just something about the pictures was very inviting. I thought it was really well done. Something to mimic for your emails for the first email. And great visually too, right? Let's make sure we focus on the fact that the visuals are good. I see a lot of people do the text and say, thank you, here's your code 10 or whatever. All right, so then they sent me an email yesterday. So a couple of days after I signed up, it says elevate every move, right? So text on screen, really big image here, quick text. Here, comfort and performance both come first. Whatever fits, features, or color you're looking for, you'll find what you need, right? So shop men, shop women, the best sellers, and meet the all-stars, right? So talking about the different collections, get me introduced to these, and then to continue that we've got you. I don't know what that is, but they keep putting on every email, so it makes me curious what's going on. And then membership, experience the membership. I know the membership is free, good place to kind of check that out. But good visuals, way to introduce me to the brand. It wasn't like every single day they're hitting me with something like some brands do. This is like, hey, hit you with an email. Thank you so much for signing up. We respect you. Here's an email in a couple of days. You want to hear from us. And then they sent me over here. And I'm sure if I interact differently, I'll probably get a different email as well. But very well done on the email side of things. Good visuals, really simple text, very inviting. Okay, so like I said, they're doing a really good job with the email. So if we can take this and break this down, is they focused on one thing, right? Or a couple of platforms and said like, hey, Facebook isn't serving us, so they stopped posting there, right? They've created content that engages their users. They've done lifestyle to engage the content to different varieties of people, right? Whether it's race, ethnicity, inclusion, or whatever it may be, right? They're reaching so many different demographics of people to draw them in to the brand and help them realize that this is more than just a clothing item, right? It's a brand outside of it. It's a feeling that you get when you have pride in something. So make sure that when you're creating that content, you're thinking about those things as well, because that's what has really helped them stand out. Number two, how they've built a brand, the way customers feel. Now I feel, let's see what I did there. Brands are built on feeling and emotions that people get when they see, hear, or interact with it. I actually found people that rated them and either filmed them or asked them to give their feelings about Lululemon. No, this was not paid. Thank you everybody who did participate. It was not paid. The only requirement was that they have owned Lulu products in the past or currently. This is what people are saying about the brand. So what's your opinion of Lululemon?
I just really love the way that they fit.
When you hear the word Lululemon, what are some of the first remarks you?
I think it's a premium brand. I think it is super popular.
It's a little bit pricey, but you more than pay for what you get after that second, third, fourth, fifth year of wearing it.
What do you think about Lululemon?
They're really good quality. I've had them, the pair of pants I have are really for a long time and they're still in perfect condition.
What's your perception of the brand?
Expensive? yeah, I guess higher quality materials.
So the question is, how can you do this for your brand? You take care of your customers and do the unscalable while you can. The no hassle returns, the handwritten note, the postcard in the mail, these are all small things that add up. They help your brand stand out and give you an edge over the competition who's focused on the side of the brain that cares only about margin. Your brand will rise and fall on the way that it focuses on how to make money. What I mean by that is if you, right, can be profit focused in the beginning, right? So let's say you're focused on profit only in the beginning. You're probably gonna make more money at the beginning, right? That's just because you've made more money. And I know you need to be in the game to be able to stay in the game. But if you take care of your customers, right, and play the long game, you will get them to come back again and again. One question to ask yourself is, right, and this is from Alex Ramosi, and it really stopped me in my tracks and made me think about this, right? So I want you to kind of take it all in, whether you're, listening, whatever else, right? Just make sure that this is a part of the video that you take your notes, right? Just kind of your initial thoughts. So if I couldn't acquire any new customers, right? And the only money I could make were from my existing customers and the ones who referred me, right? So the ones who are customers and referred, what would I do differently? Very good question for you to ask, right? You can't go out and market and get new customers. You have to let your customers do the marketing for you. What would you do differently? That is what you need to start doing right now. All right, so number one is the solid ad strategy. Their ad strategy may surprise you. I want to break down some of the key things I'm seeing from their ads. We're gonna jump into Facebook, we're gonna jump into TikTok. But before we jump into those, I just want to say, hey, if you found any value in this video so far, it would really mean a lot for us for you to hit that like button until you see the confetti. When you do that, right, it not only helps us, it also helps YouTube share this with more people when we really appreciate that. And just for doing so, here is a picture of a lemur. All right, so now that we are over here on Facebook, to show you how you can do this, page transparency, see all, you can actually go and search for the Facebook Ads Manager library and you can do it that way. This is also a good way to do it as well. So we're gonna scroll down and there we go. Where is ads from this page? Okay, so ads from this page, there we go. Click that button and let's look at these ads. All right, so they are constantly changing. These are actually not even the ads that I saw previously. But let's just look at them because they dropped some November 8th, November 9th. Let's see the oldest one here. Okay, so one of the oldest ones that we have here, right here, get the latest light and breathable, like new gear, right? So this one's actually been running for a while, since October 17th. And then what I said earlier was, right, what about their business model that is doing well? So they have their brick and mortars, and then they have like their main store, but then they have this, right, which is Shop Use Lululemon. They're the biggest reseller of Lululemon as well, right? So somebody uses it, they bring it back in, they fix up some issues or whatever, then resell it again. So it's like, not only did we make X amount of margin on the first one, we're gonna take it back, we're gonna, give you a discount to buy something new, right? Or whatever else at margin, at profit. And then we're gonna take that product and then sell it over here on this website. Go ahead and go over here. So just so you guys know, there is a website, it's called likenew.lululemon.com. Really dope. All of the clothes are really cool. And it's just used Lululemon, which is probably still better than a lot of other stuff. So very cool there. They have a lot of ads for that going on. That's probably one of their largest ones. This is something that's going on over here though. This is for the holidays. Let's watch this. Okay, so they're promoting Afterpay, same kind of thing, look here. Simple, like there's not too much creativity with this, even as you can see here, right? A week later, boom. Different text, different movement, same, I mean, it's a nice voice, but it's just literally the opening of a present. Let's see here, this actually looks like good content. Nope, same thing. Who knows if these are actually working right? They've been running from November 8th. It's been running for about a week or so. Don't really know. Their launch strategy, probably not that good, which is why I'm thinking like you could definitely beat them. Let's look at this one. This is a little bit better. Specific to running gear. Cool. So they decided to do this holiday content filmed it, and then they were like, this is it, we're all in, hopefully it works. Then after that, right, they launched other stuff that was like product specific, because I'm guessing it didn't do well November 10th. Last thing that they launched was November 10th. This was a while ago. Our suggestion is to launch new content every single week. The way that they're running these ads, you can see it's right, it has multiple versions, it's running on different placements. Almost all of them are running on different placements. But the interesting part is they basically came up with one idea, one concept, and said like, we're gonna have a voiceover, we're gonna have a present opening, and we're gonna cut to different shots, and that's it. Right? They're basing all of their holiday sales around, hopefully these ads will work really well, which they may, right? But it's a shot in the dark. So that's why I believe that you can absolutely destroy them on the Facebook and Instagram side of things for your own ads. They're obviously spending a lot of money, right? So they could probably get results and acquire customers because their profit are so good, but you could beat them on the creative side of things. Okay, so let's look at their TikTok. So what we're seeing over here on TikTok is, right, they're promoting specific things. It looks a lot more engaging. It looks like it's native to TikTok. So let's check some of these out. This is focusing on the shoes. This is a top ad. Fast cuts every 2-3 seconds. A lot more engaging content. Very cool. They're about the same.
Here is my 5 to 9 routine after my 9 to 5. The first thing I do is get into comfortable clothes.
Okay, so they use influencers to create content. The influencers is jumping into comfortable clothes, which happens to be Lululemon. Let's see here. What do we got here?
I tried it, so you don't have to, featuring Lululemon Studio Mirror. I've been seeing the Lululemon Studio Mirror all over my For You page, so naturally I had to get it.
Nice. So they got a great discount. They're using user-generated content, potentially an influencer for this, and just showcasing the product and using that as an ad. The good thing here, though, or the interesting part here, is that these are 15 results, and this is the, you can go check this out yourself, where it's ads.tiktok.com, or just search for the TikTok ads library, and you can go and search for them. But these are the top ads. So we can look at the total reach. Actually, this one's doing much better. Look at the click-through rate. Let's see what this one's. Okay, so why is this ad doing well? Let's look at the click-through rate here.
This holiday season.
Okay, let's see here. So we can actually see when people are clicking through. It's actually not that good, but because the click-through rate goes up really high in the beginning, we want them to stay around to the end. There is a spike here at the end, but let's see this. It's about a 20-second video.
This holiday season.
Click through.
Suit up for the crowd.
So right away they're like, okay, Lululemon beanie, gonna go check it out.
You can brave the stores, and you can stress your way through everyone on your shopping list. Or you can use Afterpay. Afterpay is the ultimate holiday helper.
Focus on Afterpay.
Purchases so that best finds in all
see here.
categories: women's, men's, and accessories.
The only thing that they did or messed up here is no call to action at the end. Like, so shop now, go here, do anything. They didn't do anything with that. All right, so let's look at the conversion rate. A lot of people dropped off. So it's a top performing ad, but a lot of things that they could have done better, right? So text on screen, good voiceover, call to action at the end would have taken them to that next level. So go here, get some inspiration, use user-generated content if you can, jump on trends. It's not a must, right? But the main things you got to think about when you're creating TikTok ads are text on screen, if it makes sense, right? If you're doing green screen, probably not, but text on screen, point to the top of that so people see that text, and then call to action at the end is very imperative. We'll probably do a whole video on TikTok ads in the near future, but this gives you a very good idea of what they are doing, right? They're jumping on trends as a big brand and working very lean as a small brand as well. All right, so I wanted to share with you a tool that we are using to give us back lost data from advertising, right? Because with all this advertising, if you do not have the right data, you could probably more than likely are making the wrong decisions on which ads to turn off and on. So the software is called Triple Whale, and it gives us the data to make smarter decisions in our business based off of facts versus I hope and guess. It's what we use for every client and group coaching member, and over 99% of the data is accurate, coming back into the software so you can make real decisions. If you want to get accurate data for your ads for your business, check out the link in the description down below. I believe if you use the code BITBRANDING, you can get 15% off for life. So time for a caveat here, because I think that a lot of people get into the comparison game and it's a dicey one. No matter what your goal is, remember Lulu started in 1998 and it took them 10 years before the brand really even took off. So take one thing from this video and go implement it. You may be asking yourself, well, what are the actionable takeaways? Don't worry, I'm gonna tell you, right? So number one, focus on the brand while you create content. Number two, treat your customers well and do the unscalable. I cannot stress this enough. Do the unscalable. Even if you think you cannot, you have to stay in business. Make sure that you understand your numbers. If you don't understand your numbers, if you don't know where you're profitable, where you're not profitable, like any of those things, then you've got to understand at least the bare basics of like, how do I actually scale? We actually have a free calculator. If you comment the word calculator down below, I will send that link over to you so you can figure out what the numbers are in your business so you can make better decisions to scale and when to scale and not to scale with your advertising. All right, so if you are ready to jump into advertising your clothing store, right? Make sure that you go watch this video right here next. Hey, PS, I know you're about to leave this video, but before you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the content. All right, y'all, that is it for this video. Have a great rest of your day.